Hi everyone, it's Alex from Battle City Broadcasting. I'm back again for you guys with another deck profile, this time featuring the new structure deck, the Resonator Crimson King structure deck. A lot of cool new cards I thought were in here. It's quite a fun deck, but it does have potential. So just wanted to cover this a little bit because I thought it was pretty fun to play. And maybe you guys will think it's fun to play as well and be interesting to see any of your other ideas with this deck as well. So please let us know. Speaking of which, before we get started on this profile, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to us. And don't forget to follow our Instagram and join our Discord as well for other resources, talking directly to us and other people as well that have joined the channel. Links will be in in the description for you guys. So without further ado, no more wasting time, let's get started. To start off here, we have our 3 Soul Resonator. This is basically the Stratos of the deck. Upon normal or special summon, you can search for a level 4 lower fiend monster. So this will include all your Resonator monsters, and more importantly, it also searches your Bone Archfiend, which is the main level 4 extender of the deck that we'll talk about later. Additionally, if it's in the grave and any of your cards, if they were to be destroyed by card effect, if you have a Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can actually banish this from the graveyard to protect yourself instead. So it's a nice feature of it. Next up, the most powerful Resonator in the deck. We have your 3 Crimson Resonator. Basically, this is a free special summon. If you control no monsters, you can just special it out. So, which is great because it doesn't eat up your normal summon or anything like that. And more importantly, if you control exactly one Dark Synchro monster, which will usually be your Red Rising Dragon, you can special summon 2 Resonators from the deck that's not itself. So this is how your combo like really explodes out. And this is like the main Resonator you end up want to see in the grave usually to special back with Red Rising. Up next, we have your 2 Vision Resonator. This is the main Resonator that helps you extend the combo. If any level 5 or higher Dark Monster is on the field, you can just special him out once per turn. But even better than that, if he hits the grave from anywhere, then you get to search your deck for a spell trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend. So you can search out like your Crimson Gaia or your Red Zone, things like that. To round off the Resonators here, we have 2 Synchron Resonator. This is mainly to be used, obviously, as your level 1 option for tuners. And same thing as Vision Resonator. You can just special this out if there's a Synchro monster on the field, once per turn, of course. And if it's sent to the grave from the field, not once per turn, you can actually add a Resonator from the grave back to your hand. Up next here, we have your 3 Bone Archfiend. This is your main designated level 4 non-tuner of the deck that helps you get into your synchro plays this way. If the card is in your hand or the graveyard even, which is really nice, it's more flexible that way, you can actually send one other card from your hand or field to the grave to special him out. And then from there, you can target one of your other Resonator monsters you control to essentially Foolish a Resonator for cost to increase or decrease the target's level by 1. So this will combo really well by sending a Vision Resonator from your hand or field to proc its effect as well, and then that helps you level modify. Let's say if you had like Soul Resonator out, you can reduce his level down to 2, so 2 and 4 makes 6. That makes your Red Rising Dragon, which starts off your whole combo. Moving on to the Bystial package here, we have your 3 Lubellion. This is really good, searches any of your other Bystials, of course, but this mainly helps with the whole branded spell trap plays with like Branded Beast or A2 Branded that we'll talk about later. But this and Saronir really gets going. So you have your 3 Lubellion, your 1 Magnemite, of course, 2 Saronir, 1 Drewsworm. A pretty small Bystial package, if I do say so myself. Only use what's needed. Your Saronir is what helps you dump some of your branded spell traps that I just mentioned to the grave so you can get them back out later at the end of your turn. And the others are just like good disruptions. Magnemite obviously searches any of the Bystial. So if you use Lubellion and you already had Saronir, you can search Magnemite, use Magnemite, and then Magnemite searches the Lubellion for next turn as well, which is really nice. Rounding off the monsters, just 3 Ash Blossoms. It's probably one of the better hand traps this format, if I do say so myself. But the core of this deck isn't as lean, so there's not too much room for non-engine, so you just kind of play the best one. So 3 Ash Blossom. Moving on to spells. Best spell of the deck, obviously, it's going to be your Crimson Gaia. Basically, it's a continuous spell where during your main phase, you can add a Red Dragon Archfiend or one card that mentions it from your deck or grave to your hand. So if it's a Red Dragon Archfiend from your grave, it obviously just goes back to the extra deck. But regardless, you're mainly searching from the deck to the hand anyways. And if a Red Dragon Archfiend you control declares an attack, you can actually change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. So Red Dragon Archfiend, which we'll talk about later, kind of like combos well with this card in a more simplified game state. And then if a monster on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can actually special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. So it helps your things float as well. And combined with a lot of like end board interruptions, a lot of your interruptions are actually pops. And it's not just your cards that have to be destroyed. You can actually destroy your opponent's card, and Gaia will trigger the special back out in RDA as well. So it's really nice. Next up here, we have your 3 Resonator Call. Basically the Rhoda of the deck, and it's not hard once per turn either. So if you opened up 3 Resonator Call, that's 3 Resonators from your deck to your hand. Really cool. It's just really good. Like, usually if you see 1, you open up others, you have full combo. But if you see 2, then you're guaranteed full combo anyways. Just really good search card. And you got 1 Thrust, 2 Talents. This is, I would say, really good, this coming format. Just obviously, we know talent is broken. Being able to take control or even draw 2 for more consistency. Thrust searches you really any other normal spell in the deck, which is really nice. So it's just really powerful cards that add to the ceiling of the deck. Or even if you go second, help break your opponent's board so you can end up playing as well. 3 Pot of Prosperity. Mainly for more consistency. And of course, you can't like search your Bystials with your Resonator cards, obviously. So a lot of times, like if you really want the true full combo, you need your Bystial Lubellion. So Prosperity is the main way you usually get that into your hand as well. And of course, last of the spells, 1 card out of the grave. Gotta play it. This deck itself is consistent, yes, but it does lose to a few things, a few hand traps as well. Droll really hurts this deck. Sometimes if you get Ash in the right spot, it hurts as well. So whenever you do see the card by the grave, you're just winning in general. You never hate to see it, honestly. So moving on to the traps, we have your 1 Red Zone. This is that Resonator trap card, the new one from the structure deck, where when your opponent activates a card or effect where you control a Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So this combos well with like the Crimson Gaia and the RDA in your field, things like that. And you can also actually target one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters and special summon it. Each of those effects are hard once per turn, but the really cool thing about that special summoning effect is, say on turns where you end up making a red Supernova Dragon, which we'll get to later in the profile, you can banish it. The Supernova will banish itself to banish everything your opponent has, and you can use Red Zone to bring it back. Because the Supernova is not hard once per turn, you can banish everything your opponent has again. So it's like really good that way. Of course, for part of the Bystial engine, we have Etude of the Branded Beast. Etude is really what facilitates your Calamity play, since you're able to use it to Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn. Branded Beast is the card you usually get onto your field with Bystial Lubellion. Then during the end phase, you'll be able to get the Etude on your field from the grave that way. That's how those two work together. And last but not least, rounding for 41 cards, I just play 2 Infinite Impermanence, since it's, just, I would say, another good hand trap right now. Don't flame me, I know I have golds. I'm waiting on new copies, okay? I understand. I hate the golds too. So if we move on to the extra deck, standard here, obviously. At your 3 red Rising Dragon, 1 Fiend Tuner, or basically 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. since all your monsters are really fiends anyways. So basically, when this card is synchro summoned, you can target one Resonator monster in your graveyard to special summon it. So usually off of Red Rising, your main target would be your Crimson Resonator mentioned earlier. So then when this comes out, you have your one Dark Synchro monster. So then you meet the conditions for Crimson to bring out two more Resonators that way, which is really nice. Another cool thing about Red Rising is that it's not once per turn. So if you manage to synchro summon out another Red Rising on your turn, you can use this effect again to revive another Resonator to your field. Of course, for namesake, you run the one Red Dragon Archfiend. You don't need more than that, really, because there are other, some of the new cards from the structure deck that also treat themselves as Red Dragon Archfiend. So more than likely, you're going to have a synchro monster that either mentions it or the name Red Dragon Archfiend on your field anyways. So you only need to run the one. Next, I'm running two Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. This is the new synchro cover art of the structure deck. It treats itself as Red Dragon Archfiend, so this is one of the cards. And if it's sent from the monster zone to the grave, you can actually special summon out the actual Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck. And if it happens to be sent to the grave as synchro material, you can actually destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So this is also kind of like an extender as well. You would usually synchro summon this and immediately use another Resonator to sync out another Archfiend card, and then the Scar Red will trigger to bring out the Red Dragon Archfiend to help you keep playing that way. We play the one Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, also treating itself as a Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field or grave. So once per turn, you can destroy as many other special summon effect monsters on the field as possible, with attack less than or equal to this card's, and then you basically burn your opponent for 500 damage for each monster destroyed. So he's basically a big board wipe, because there's not a lot of things that can get over 3,000 as well. So he just wipes the board and inflicts your opponent for 500 times that many, which is really cool. Sometimes it really helps in time as well, trying to get more life points than your opponent, which is really nice. Onto your level 9s, we run two Hot Reds, Dragon Archfiends of the Abyss. This is your main Omni Negate. Obviously, quick effect, target an opponent, a card your opponent controls on the field, negate its effects until end of turn. That's its main effect, but it also, when it inflicts battle damage to the opponent, you can actually target a tuner in your grave to special summon it in defense position. Doesn't come up as much since you're mainly just using it as a negate, but it's a really cool thing that may come up every now and then as well. On to the level 10s, we run one Tyrant and one Bane. Tyrant is mainly used as like your spell or trap negate during the battle phase if you happen to make it. So it really protects your board from, like, say, evenly matched. Bane is really just another extender. You can tribute a monster, then target an RDA from your grave, or an RDA monster, so it doesn't actually have to be the actual RDA, but any of the other copies that treat itself as RDA as well. But you can target one of those in your grave to special summon it, and if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can actually special summon two tuners with the same level from your deck and from your grave. Of course, now your level 12s. We have the Calamity and the Supernova. These are your biggest boss monsters. Usually, unless you open like God Hand to make to be able to make a board for both of these at the same time, your combo routes will usually lead into one or the other. So Calamity, everybody knows, honestly should be banned, but it's basically synchro this, your opponent cannot play the game. Like, your opponent can't respond to its effect on synchro summon, stops your opponent from activating anything, things like that. Your opponent can literally not play the game, you basically win right there. Red Supernova Dragon, this is the one that banishes itself to banish everything your opponent has on the board, so it's a board wipe against them. And this is the one that combos well with your red zone, that's able to special it back, so you can use its effect again up to twice, basically, to board wipe your opponent. And we run the one Kai Belt, however you pronounce it, the Blade Dragon. This is just a nice level 7 option a Dark Dragon Synchro as well, so it fits within the restrictions of the deck. Good going second. When it's Synchro Summon, you can actually target a card on the field to destroy it. So this also triggers things like your Crimson Gaia to bring something back as well because something is destroyed. And it just, if it happens to be destroyed itself, you can target one face-up monster on the field, and that monster can't attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Less important effect that way, but mainly it's used for the just pop to break your opponent's board. And to round things off, 15 card extra deck. Play the one Bystial Dispatter. It's really good Dark Dragon Synchro again. It's another level 10 that can target one banished light or dark monster to special summon it back. So with your Bystial package, you can like banish one of your dark sinkers that you've used in your grave already, special summon that. Then Dispatter will bring it back into your board. So it recurs resources that way. Dispatter will also work as another interruption in the form of a destruction or even a monster negate against your opponent, which is just really good that way. And it is a Bystial, so you can actually get the pop. You meet the condition for Bandit Beast for you to able to pop an opponent's monster as well, which is really cool. See, other cards I've actually thought about running in this deck as well would be for one like the Red Resonator. This acts as another level 2 option in the deck to summon out off Crimson Resonator, and it helps you win in time because it lets you, on special summon, it lets you gain life points equal to the targeted synchro monster of your choice. So with Red Rising, you gain 2100 life points, which is usually enough. That's actually quite a bit when you're trying to win in time. But other than that, sometimes the actual level 2 tuner does come up in certain situations where you need a level 2 tuner to bring out with Crimson that can't be Crimson to make some of your plays. No. Another card I thought about running, since we do run the Bystial engine, is Branded Regained. I did cut this out for Etude, but you could try and run both if you want. I haven't tested it out myself. But this is another thing alongside Branded Beast to help you like start recurring resources and slowly gain advantage that way, since we do run the Bystial engine. So that rounds up the deck profile. I do hope you guys enjoyed. We have Battle City Broadcasting here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Especially if you do want to see a combo video of this deck, please do like and comment, letting us know as well. We do read those comments, and we do enjoy reading them as well. So thank you guys for reaching out to us. Also, again, we do have a Discord and an Instagram for you guys to join and follow as well. Keep up with us. And it's just more ways to come in contact with us and maybe like reach out to other people and like collab, cook some ideas if you guys are chefing up those decks as well. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in. Battle City Broadcasting is out.